So here is BBIG Vinco Ventures. This finishes at $3.07 today. That is up 23.79%. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is NILE BitNile Holdings. This finishes at 83 cents today. That is up 48.56%. So this stock came out of nowhere today, made top 10 on StockTwits, major price action, so we will analyze it. So there was a reason as to why this stock went up so much today. We did have some news, so let's check that out. BitNile's subsidiary turn on green to be acquired by BitNile Holdings subsidiary Imperalis Holding Corp, creating a publicly traded EV charging and power solutions company. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So they're selling their company to themselves. That's what it appears like. That's pretty odd, but I guess the apes liked it. Very bullish news. So yeah, apes jumping in here, buying the stock up. This is a low float stock, so major volume, definitely squeezing today. So let's go ahead and analyze here. So honestly, there's not too much to go off of here, but we do have a cup and handle in the making. Looks like the bottom of the cup is 50 cents, the low, and there can be multiple possible tops. It can be 106, and if it is 106, that would be a bearish indicator because this may have topped out already today, but it can be over 106, and if it is above 106, then that'd be a bullish indicator. It can also be 140, 174, 218, 251, 296, 311, or even the high of 370. So the cup and handle can be bullish or bearish depending on where the top is, but it appears like longer term, it looks bullish, and shorter term, it looks bearish. And there's also a gap up today at 60 cents, so that would be a bearish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should run back down to 60 cents to fill that gap. And in the aftermarket here, this is pulling back down to 78 cents. So another bearish indicator there. That is suggesting that tomorrow this stock will run to the downside. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is sitting on the support of 83 cents, which I finished at today. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 88 cents, 92 cents, 94 cents, 98 cents, 103, 106, 111, 115, 119, 125, 134, 141, 149, 156, and then 160. There is resistance above 160, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 77 cents, 60 cents, and then the low of 50 cents. 50 is the all-time low, so no support below that. So right now at this current price, 83 cents, the channels to the upside are pretty decently sized, so expect a normal amount of price action if this runs to the upside. However, if/when this breaks 125, the channels start to open up and get really wide, so expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 125. And to the downside, the channels are very wide, so expect a significant increase in price action if this runs to the downside. RSI is currently at 52, so very average there. According to the RSI, this current price of 83 cents is around fair market value, and this did 202 million in volume today, way above average, biggest volume day of the year, definitely squeezing. So this pump/squeeze today was confirmed by the volume, although the momentum should be cooling off. Okay guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. I do think this one is pretty obvious. Longer term, it does look like a good buy and hold. Very big cup and handle, so a good amount of upside potential in the long term. But in the short term, this does appear to be very bearish. Again, big gap up. Looks like the cup topped out at 106. Aftermarket action is pulling back, and it appears like the volume is going to have to cool off very soon. So very strong bearish indicators in the short term. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. I think this is going to have to pull back down to 60 cents to fill the gap here before it goes back up, and wide channels to the downside. So if this runs to the downside, this can go really bad really fast. So I don't like the entry of 83 cents. I think that would be FOMO. If you're a little patient here, you should be able to get this back at 60 cents. So that's where I would set the buy orders, 60 cents. And if it pulls back below 60 cents, then you can just average down at 50. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, looks like a pretty good play to me. Again, very strong bearish indicators. Looks like this will have to pull back in the short term to the downside, and I do think it will pull back down to 60 cents to fill the gap. So from this current price of 83 cents, that would be around a 30% downside, a lot of downside potential, and it does not appear to be too risky at this point. I would say going short here would be a medium risk, high reward play. There does appear to be some upside potential still, but I don't think it's too risky. Shouldn't really squeeze to the upside anymore. Looks like it's due for a big pullback. So you should be able to make a relatively easy 30% to the downside here. So I would support going short at 83 cents and higher. And I would say cover when this fills the gap at 60 cents. And that should be some relatively easy money there. So pretty straightforward, guys. Long term, looks bullish. Looks like a good stock to buy and hold. But in the short term, this just popped on some good PR. A lot of momentum today. Squeezed the stock up. But a lot of bearish indicators. And I do think this will have to pull back before it runs up again. Don't think going long is a great idea right now. I'd hold off for a better price. And going short appears to be a pretty decent play. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today. Consider taking profits if you're up, not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is NILE BitNile Holdings. So here is BBIG Vinco Ventures. This finishes at $3.07 today. That is up 23.79%. So we haven't talked about the stock in a while here, but we have some major price action. And this did make top 10 on StockTwits today. So we will analyze it. So no company-specific news to justify this price action today. Although I did see a lot of mentions on social media saying that this is a potential squeeze candidate. There were even some articles about it. So I assume that's what's going on here. A lot of apes coming in, and this isn't necessarily a squeeze here, but shorts are covering. So very nice. So let's go ahead and analyze here. So first of all, we do have a triple gap down. First gap down at around 960. So that is a bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should eventually come back up to 960 to fill that gap. May take a while, but eventually it should. Second gap down at 750. So another bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should eventually come back up to 750 to fill this gap. Again, it may take a while, but eventually it should. And then third gap down at 585. Another bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should eventually come back up to 585. And then this appears to be a big cup and handle in the making. Bottom of the cup being 194, and there can be multiple possible tops. It can be 375, 555, 910, or even the high of 1250. But those are all bullish indicators. That is telling us that the stock should eventually come back up to one of those tops to complete the cup. And in the aftermarket here, this is running up to 310, so that is a bullish indicator for tomorrow. That is suggesting that tomorrow this will run to the upside as well. And then we do have a gap up here at 258, 260-ish. So that is a bearish indicator that is telling us that the stock should eventually come back down to 260 to fill this gap. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now, this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 315 and 295. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 315, 330, 350, 375, 405, 425, 460, 485, 515, 535, 555, 585, and then $6. There is resistance above $6, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 295, 265, 250, 225, 215, 195, 175, 160, 135, and then 120. And 120 is the low that I have here, so no support below that. So right now at this current price, 307. The channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. However, as this continues to run to the upside, the channels get even more wide, so expect an even more significant increase in price action if this continues to run to the upside. RSI is currently at 60, so a little bit above average there. So according to the RSI, the current price of 307 is a little bit higher than it should be, although still not overbought and overvalued, so nothing to be too concerned about just yet. And this did 86 million in volume today. Very significant volume, way above the average. So this pump today was confirmed by the volume. Okay guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So longer term, this definitely looks like a good buy and hold. A lot of bullish indicators here. Triple gap down, big cup and handle. In the short term, this does appear like it does have a little bit more upside potential, but I do think this is due for a pullback. So I would say maybe this will run to 375 to complete the cup here. But I really don't expect it to go too much higher than that. And eventually, I do think this will pull back down to 260 to fill the gap formed there today. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice. Personally, I wouldn't go for it. Little too risky for my liking. I think you missed a big run today. At this point, if you were to go long, there is still upside potential. But you can get hurt pretty bad too if it doesn't run to the upside. Again, I do think the most this will run is the 375 where the top of the cup is. So that would be around a 20% upside. So I would say going long here would be a medium risk, medium reward play. It's an alright play. Nothing too crazy, too risky for my liking, so I wouldn't recommend it. But if you guys want to do that, please do that at your own risk. Pretty average play. Not terrible, not great. but I do think this will have to pull back down to 260 at some point, so be careful if you want to go long here. And if you guys are waiting for a really good entry on the long side, then you can just wait until this pulls back to 260, and I do think 260 would be a pretty good entry. And if it pulls back below 260, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. Now, if you want to go short, not financial advice, it's a decent play. Personally, I wouldn't go for that one either. Not yet, at least. Again, I do think this will have to pull back down to 260 to fill that gap. And at this current price, at 307 down to 260, that would be around a 15% downside. So there's 15% downside potential and 20% upside risk here if you want to go short. So really not worth it in my opinion. So I would not go short here. I would hold off and see if this does run back up to 375, where the top of the cup is. And I think that would be a pretty good short entry. So if this does run back up to 375, that would be a 30% downside back to 260. So I don't like the entry of 307. I would hold off, see if this runs back up to 375, and that's where I would go short. And I would say cover at 260 once the gap fills. So I would say going short here at this current price would also be a medium risk, medium reward play. So I don't think it's the greatest play right now. Wouldn't do it. So I would hold off to 375. All right, guys. So pretty straightforward here. Longer term, looks like a good buy and hold. Short term, this does appear like there is still more upside potential. Not too much more, though. And I do think at some point this will have to pull back down to 260. So long term bullish. Short term, it can be bullish. But I do think this will end up pulling back pretty soon here. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is BBIG Vinco Ventures. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video. Please subscribe and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know. Diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.